live streaming now. Please try to avoid the echo. So while we are not speaking, let's keep it muted.
Unmute.
Mm-hmm. Good. I see we are live now, and I welcome everyone to the first live video AMA session with the Scaleswap founding team and our special partner, Hacken, which is the leading cybersecurity company in blockchain world. And I want to introduce you to the co-founder of Scaleswap, Ralf Gertes. Hi, Ralf.
Hi, everyone.
Yeah. And then also we have here in the room another co-founder of Scaleswap, Stan Stolberg, responsible for technical aspects. Hi, Stan.
Hello, everybody.
And of course, we have our amazing partner, Yevheniia Broshevan, who is the co-founder of Hacken. Good. So this AMA session is our first but not last, and we plan to do it regularly, experiment to talk with the community and to be closer to you and to answer the most important and most relevant questions that you ask us so many times in different channels. And to start with, we would like to wrap up on the last week progress and the last week things that were happening. So everyone knows that on 25th of June, Scaleswap IDO Launchpad had its own IDO, which was filling in super fast within minutes, literally few first minutes. There were more than 40% filled in. But at the same time, there was a massive DDoS attack and the IDO was paused. So we received a lot of questions in the chat, in Telegram, everywhere about that. And Ralf, could you please, as a CEO, elaborate a little bit more on what really has happened from the first hands?
Right. So Stan will definitely elaborate more from the technical side. So as you said already, we faced a massive DDoS attack. We then immediately prepared, let's say, or went into crisis modus and also had a row of calls and found, we're trying to find the best solution. And when we saw that it was really unfair for the participants because there were certain regions that could still participate, but a lot of regions were blocked due to the DDoS attack. We decided to discontinue the pool and to take according measurements, prepare ourselves, and then also announce a new IDO date after testing is finalized. So this was it in a nutshell, let's say, from my side, but Stan is for sure more insights.
Cool, thank you,
Yes.
Ralf. Stan, you're tech guru, so can you please elaborate a little bit more on techie side, what has happened?
Yeah, thank you, Nelly. For this question, well, like Ralf said, we experienced this DDoS attack, and DDoS means distributed denial of service. That means that many computers from all over the world try to reach our servers, and at some point in time, our servers cannot react, so they fall down. The reaction time increased, and some of users, not all, but some of them experience issues with the service. And this happens at this Friday. Of course, it should be another event than this one, but it shows the popularity of the project, that we are also loved by these people who want to prevent us from going live. Well, we did very carefully audit of what happened, and we found, of course, also our own, let's say, not mistakes, but not being really prepared for such kind of attack. What we did is we restructured the architecture of the application on the one hand. On the other hand, we make a very fancy, very fine-tuned configuration of our external firewalls so that we can distinguish real humans from bots. And by the way, this attack was very cruel because a lot of bots appeared as real humans, and the web application firewall just let all those users to our servers, service named Cloudflare. Everybody knows this. Well, what we did is we spoke also with Cloudflare. We configured this in very good way, so that I'm pretty confident that next IDO should be done in a good way. But because this is so important to perform very good, we will conduct different tests, and one of the tests will be DDoS resilient test or resistance test, also with help of our partner Hacken. Jane will tell more about this. And an additional test will be, or not test, but program what we will conduct is bug bounty program. So our application will be on the platform Hacken Proof. This platform consists of, this platform is used by whitehead hackers, and these whitehead hackers will try to find all the time different breaches in our application and help us to make it better and better. But I also need to mention that before we go in live, we conducted all of required security audits. First of all, we did security audit of our smart contract, and it was high scored audit, so well secured was the score. Then we conducted audit of our token contract, and at least, or as last, we conducted a so-called penetration test. When whitehead hacker tries to go inside our system and try to find some breaches in the system. This is a bit different than DDoS attack, because DDoS attack is really an other flavor of malicious activity. Unfortunately, your system can be very well protected, can be as secure as possible. But if something wrong in this firewall protecting measures, when a lot of bots come into your site, service cannot react. It's simple like this, right? Infrastructure must be scaled in parallel with the people who visit the site, but this can be not done unlimited, right? You cannot scale to millions and millions of servers. So at some point of time, you just break down. And this is what happened. But all will be cool. Next time we are prepared, and we will make this. Jane, do you want to add something to this?
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for this explanation. Nelly, could you please let me share the screen?
Oh, you're not allowed? Definitely. Just one second.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wanted to say that definitely DDoS is something that you can be prepared at a certain degree, but it's just a question of resources and money. Some malicious guys are ready to put into to make you some damage. Yeah, and I wanted to share some like advice and see and show how actually crypto projects can protect themselves, and what I see from our experience from working with Scaleswap, that they are really following the guidelines of all possible security measures. Can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, how to secure a crypto project, yeah? That one.
Yes.
Yeah, so the first step usually it's about security in general development lifecycle, and that's where Stan with his team did amazing job, because I saw that, and the security is a ground principle for their development, and it should be in mind before starting any work. So the second part where we cooperated really a lot, it was about external audit. We done a web penetration test and smart contract audit. We haven't done DDoS resistance testing before, but it's in our agenda right now to help guys to prevent any further issues. And yeah, also we're working on bug bounty program where all our whitehead hackers community will participate in finding any vulnerabilities at Scaleswap infrastructure. And the next step, to prevent users from losing their money, would be funds insurance. But it's definitely the next step when the project is mature enough and done everything possible in terms of cybersecurity. And definitely that's an additional measure, because security is a process and you can't be 100% secure. It's important, impossible. So every time doing small steps to protect your infrastructure, users, data, money, is good. And I see that Scaleswap has really good potential, because security is a part of their mindset. And I'm pretty sure that would be a good collaboration and secure project, like during all the time of their existence.
Awesome, Jane. And could you please elaborate a little bit more on this highest or top level of security like proved by Hacken? What does it mean for non-techie people?
So what that means, that we've checked the infrastructure, the applications, we've checked smart contracts, and by our internal team, we haven't found any issues. That issues that we found were like successfully and fixed in a timely manner. And that means that we don't see any issues that can like damage the project. And that's why also, because we're all people and we all make mistakes, and like a couple of specialists is not enough. That's why we use this crowdsourced approach to invite more hackers, more specialists to look into the security of this project and to find vulnerabilities and fix them in a timely manner.
You are speaking now about bug bounty program, right? So this is why
definitely we're inviting crowdsourced security and invite more and more specialists to secure the project.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, very good. So do you want to elaborate a little bit more about this bug bounty program?
Yeah, I can briefly describe how that works. So we are now in the process of discussing the scope of work and the what rewards will hacker get for their vulnerabilities. That depends on the severity of the vulnerability. For example, if someone found access to this, how to get access to the server, like unauthorized access, that would be maximum reward amount. If that's something like recommendations order, that would be another reward amount. So the idea is, when hackers found any vulnerabilities, they report that to us. We validate this vulnerability, and together with Scaleswap tech team, we assess the severity and provide the bounty for that. That's how that should work. And also that would be continuous process. As I mentioned, security is the same. So by bug bounty, we ensure that the product is constantly testing. And once the vulnerability is found, it would be fixed and addressed in a proper way.
Okay, right now I understand it. Thanks a lot for elaborating, Yevheniia, Stan, and yeah, that is really what it means, institutional level of security, meaning that both your funds and your assets will be really under heavy protection. So that's really cool. I think that that is more or less the good coverage for the security side of the topic, and what has happened last week. And right now we can go through the questions. I see that we have a lot of questions in the live chat in YouTube. That's cool, guys. We will try to answer them if we have time, but we also collected the most frequently asked questions from our community in Telegram, and those who sent us questions by email, etc. And there were a lot of questions about Scale's core model, and if we could explain what actually is it and how does it work in a high level in general, so how it differentiates Scaleswap out of everything else. All right, you're the best person to explain this.
I see. Right.
Yes, we fully believe that Scalescore, next to other USPs that Scaleswap has, will be a big differentiator and has also the potential to transform in the first step the IDO world to a certain extent. Scalescore has the potential because it makes IDO in general less market dependent. What's very important. We all know that we are no longer in the hype times, in the super bullish times. So we need to have other more sustainable measurements for the IDOs. As a platform, you need to have a certain concept, you know, and normally entry levels and features, whatever they are, with most of the other platforms, it's done by simple tier levels. So you need to hold or stake a certain amount of tokens, and then you're allowed to do something. But this is a pretty one-dimensional or two-dimensional story, and ScaleScore goes far beyond that. So we have 6 dimensions. 4 of these dimensions are SCAR token related, and 2 of them are related to the tokens of the projects that are launching on our platform. So this means that it goes far beyond. We want to really remunerate and acknowledge also loyalty of our community, and also as far as possible without a dependency on their budget. So out of 6 dimensions of the ScaleScore, only 1 dimension is related to budget. How many tokens do you have, you know? But 5 dimensions are related to your behavior. Do you hold the SCAR token still? How many of the maximum amount do you still hold? Have you been active with the projects that have been launched, and do you own tokens of these projects? And also, do you provide liquidity with the SCAR token? So these are all dimensions that gives a by far more full picture of the loyalty of the people, and they can earn by this guaranteed pool participation. They can unlock features, and they also increase their voting power in our decentralized governance, which will in future also be managed in a real DAO. And we will have also weighted airdrops where this plays a role. So therefore, we believe ScaleScore can be a real differentiator, and we are aware that everything can be copied, you know. But the good thing is that ScaleScore is built in from the beginning in ScaleSwap, you know, as a very core element. And this makes it hard, let's say, for others just to simply copy it.
Awesome, Ralf. Does it actually mean that in some months the whole industry will follow this trend, meaning that we'll try to follow ScaleSwap and building this fair IDO concept, and it will change on how it works in general?
It would be, we are pretty convinced that it will change the way. So if people see that that this is a successful method also in more difficult market times, it's pretty likely that others are copying it or in parts. But in general, so it can also, we hope that we develop in such a strong position that we are able to change the IDO sphere, and not only that others are copying it as well. So this is our ambitious target, let's say, to be also the innovative leader. ScaleScore is also nothing that we stop our innovation with ScaleScore. So it's only the first step for us to make IDO more sustainable, and a lot more is coming up. So this is only the beginning.
That's cool to hear that, especially a lot of people in the chat are writing how they wish ScaleSwap to fly to the moon. Thank you guys, very sweet of you. And as you see, Ralf's and Stan's vision fully aligns with you. I know that Yevheniia has to run for another meeting. Yevheniia, thank you so much for joining us. We will let you go and continue with ScaleSwap founders. So we had Yevheniia Broshevan, amazing co-founder of Hacken, the best cybersecurity player on the blockchain market. Thank you, Yevheniia.
Thank you, guys. Wish you good luck.
Thank you very much for joining us.
See you later. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good. Then coming back to the questions from the community, and we already kind of finished the topic about the DOS, but there were a lot of questions on why did we refund the participants who managed to buy some tokens during the first minutes of IDO in 25th, and why didn't we just leave them with tokens? So could you guys please elaborate a little bit more on that?
Shall I take that? Okay.
Okay. I just want to maybe 5 cents to add that. What does it mean again? I come back to the DDoS attack. It means that not everyone could not reach the site, right? The site was reachable for a lot of people, probably for, let's say, 60–70% of people, and everybody saw that that the pool was filled within 5 minutes to this 44%. But because our monitors reported to us, we have some traffic monitors, and we saw that DDoS happening, then we decided that it will be simply not fair to people who cannot participate because of this attack, because they are blocked by other bots. So their place is taken by some bot. It's not fair. This was the main reasoning. If we could leave IDO like it is, it would be filled then again within next 15 minutes, and that's it. But this is not our approach, right, Ralf? This is...
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. Our core values, fairness, transparency. So we try always to live that also all the time, and also how we behave. And it wouldn't have been fair simply to do that. At the end, everyone had, it was inconvenient, to be honest, for everyone who tried to participate. And for the ones that even tried it 1.5 hours, refreshing their browsers, I don't know, 100 times, and were not successful at the end, it was also not a nice experience, you know. And but we also fully understand that it is frustrating if you have something, you know, already literally in your hands, and someone takes it away. That's absolutely also not a nice experience. But we can only explain it like this. We want to have it as a fair principle, that everyone has the same chance also to get an allocation. And therefore we decided that we make a hard line, that we discontinue and that we restart from scratch. Instead of keeping these tokens, we put some other measurements in place, which have at the moment no effect because Ethereum price went up. But just to mention that we pegged the Ether price, let's say, to the same level like in the first pool. This means that no one needs to transfer additional ETH or wrapped ETH or buy additional wrapped ETH. Even if the Ethereum price drops now below 1,938 US$, we will have that minimum peg. Yeah, this was the decision that we took. We are aware that it's not, let's say, in favor really of everyone, but we tried to make a decision for the majority, and also to keep our values, let's say, also with this decision.
Thanks for elaborating on this, Ralf. And by the way, I will be mixing questions then from Telegram and from live chat today, because I see that there are a lot of them indeed coming in. So speaking about the conditions, there is a question if the conditions for the IDO, upcoming IDO, which will finally happen, are they the same or something has changed there?
The conditions, maybe you can elaborate a bit more. KYC or what kind of?
Price.
No, not KYC. I think the conditions about the price of tokens and the process itself. So it's the question from one of our viewers right now from the live chat.
Right. So in general, the conditions will stay the same. So we will have the same price. So due to our minimum peg, let's say peg to Ethereum on the bottom side. Yeah. In general, the only thing which might change a little is the question of guaranteed pool participations earned by NFTs and also the draw winners of our tester group, because we know already that we implement that in a different structured way after our IDO. So there might be a little difference, let's say, to the first one, how we handle these guaranteed pool participations to make that, let's say, not disturbing the main IDO. So, but we will, together with the IDO date, we will also release information how we handle this part. But in general, the conditions will remain the same, and also the prerequisites stay the same. Everyone who was successfully chosen as a whitelist winner and did successfully KYC. This stays also for the next for our relaunch, let's say, of our IDO.
Great. Actually, we have so many questions about IDO that, guys, I just remind you, don't hesitate. Even if we don't have time to answer all your questions today, leave them here. We will review the chat. We will share the chat with the founders, and we will share the answers either on the next AMA session or in our Telegram group. You have the link to the Telegram group in the description of this video, under this video. Plus, tell us in the chat also, how do you like this format, live video AMA with the founders of Scaleswap, and how often would you like to have this format? Maybe once per month, or maybe you wish to have it even once per week. So give us your opinion, please, in the chat. It will be super helpful to understand. And coming back to the questions about, well, about Scaleswap and about IDO. So let me give you a few short questions. How do you guys protect the IDO from Bitcoin dumper? Muhammad Ibrahim is asking.
How we protect from Bitcoin dumper?
Yeah, from Bitcoin dump.
So from bad market conditions.
Yeah,
from bad market conditions. Okay. Exactly. Well, technically, technically we cannot protect this, right? But I mean, every blockchain-based project is different, and I hope that very soon we will experience times that not every blockchain project is really 100% pegged to Bitcoin. I hope this really for the whole ecosystem, because this would mean the ecosystem involved and the dependency on the mother cryptocurrency is weaker, and this is where we need to go. So I wouldn't look on Bitcoin at all, to be frank.
Right, but I think also the market dominance of Bitcoin is lower and lower. So the dominance was by far stronger. And just a little recap on what I said before. I think for our case, our goal and the best protection what we can have is our community. You know, the general interest in Scaleswap, the general interest also in our token. This is driving also let's say not only considering the market conditions, but in any market condition, you know, fostered by our scale score, we believe that we have there a pretty unique possibility. But the market conditions decide if you make these spikes, let's say, to the moon, and then quite often also back. But our target is that we have mid and long term a very solid, very healthy development. And for this scale score, but a lot of other things how we are doing things in a more sustainable way should exactly be the answer, let's say, to challenging markets.
Great. And by the way, speaking about challenging markets and speaking about Scaleswap as the really game-changing launchpad in the market. By the way, Osman just wrote in the chat, as the name Scaleswap suggests, I believe we will crush all launchpads. I express my full support to the team. Thank you, Osman, and thank all the guys who share this.
Thank you very much.
There is also a question from Justice78, question for Q&A. For now, how many IDO projects in a pipeline do you have, and when the first IDO after launch? I think I can elaborate a little bit more on the first question myself, because I'm responsible for the deal flow in the Scaleswap team. My name is Nelly. Hi, I forgot to introduce myself. And right now, we have really cool traction on that side. So I can say that we started collecting applications internally from our close circle of VCs, angel investors, incubators, and partners. We did not yet even start doing it publicly, but even from internal network, we collected a few hundreds of applications already and selected 17 projects in the pipeline right now. 17 good high quality startups, among which we will select the best of the best to be listed during July. And when the first IDO will happen, I think that Ralf or Stan can elaborate a little bit more, but I think definitely after Scaleswap's IDO, not before.
Absolutely. We plan that the first one will happen between 7 and 14 days approximately after our own IDO. It depends also on the prerequisite. If everything is really already perfectly set, with the project, then it can be a very fast process. But we want to have a highlight, let's say, for the first project. And in general, we want to keep the quality of the projects very high. And as Nelly said, she is responsible for the deal flow. This was also kind of a pre-release of news that will also be upcoming. So Nelly was from the first minute with us on our Scaleswap mission, supporting us as a long-term friend also of Stan and myself in the advisory board. And we can take that now also as a little pre-release of these news that Nelly will join us in a C-level function effectively already from today. So I believe that we will have definitely the best deal flow manager in the world with Nelly, one of the most experienced ones, building up in Mind as the leading digital startup ecosystem. And we are very proud of this fact. So deal flow, Stan and myself have no worries at all in having Nelly in this role for us. So we are very pleased and honored by this.
Yeah, I can only agree with you, and this is so important that from Scaleswap management, everybody can focus on the area where he should focus, right?
Right.
Technology, business development, deal flow. This is very important for a startup, and therefore I don't have any doubts that we will fly very high.
Oh, thank you, guys. I'm so flattered. Thanks a lot for your warm words. I didn't expect so much attention today to my humble figure, but that's very, very sweet of you. And I truly believe in the great potential of Scaleswap. And I know that this team can build it really a skyscraper out of it, just to follow up on this exact topic, there was a very interesting question about the high future of the Scaleswap. So Kabir, I think, was asking you guys, in future, can we see Scaleswap as a big exchange like Pancake, Uniswap, etc.? I don't know if you can at least a little bit elaborate on this. Ralf or Stan, who would prefer?
Well, everything is possible, and there is so many interesting plans. We cannot disclose everything to the details. It would not be correct to do this point of time, because first of all we need to start with Scaleswap. This is our market entry product, but be assured that there is a pipeline of different features which will enrich the Scaleswap ecosystem, such that also Pancake and Uniswap like functionalities will be enabled in future.
Well, I think that Buyan, I hope I pronounce your name properly, is elaborating further on this topic. So he's asking how exactly do you plan, or what do you plan to do to become the IDO platform #1 on the market?
So the main reason is here, Nelly. No, it's I think it's a collection of reasons why we believe that we will develop into the position of the go-to IDO platform. On the one hand, I think we have a team that has real entrepreneurial experience. So all the three of us, it's not the first startup that we are founding. We have very long-term experience in the blockchain sphere, also knowing in the ICO world what happened, let's say, in these times, which is pretty beneficial to prevent that similar things happen in the IDO phase. We have ScaleScore. This is our first step for making IDOs more fair for the community, which were so far more a little bit in the play ball role, you know, and we definitely want to change that. We want to honor loyalty on Scaleswap with also ScaleScore. And in addition, we are technically advanced. We know that we are not the first one now who's launching as a Polygon launchpad, but you do not always need to be the first one, you know, in something. If you do it really thoroughly, then and you need to have the power to execute. And I think all these prerequisites are there. We will definitely have the best deal flow of the market. What's always very hard if you come to a market where you have already established competitors, it's pretty hard because you don't have the track record yet. Yeah, fully convinced because of this news that we will succeed also in that area, and that we will attract the best projects in the market.
We will definitely. I promise. So coming back to the question, I see really a lot of questions about KYC and different aspects of it during the IDO process. But I think that a question from John more or less summarizes it. So for the pending or postponed IDO, does he understand correctly that the participants are still us who win or pass the whitelist, right? Not on the new whitelist, as well as the KYC process. No need to repeat. So John is asking if they have to repeat the whitelisting or KYC process, or those investors, those backers who already passed it, they are fully eligible.
Yes,
they're fully eligible.
Fully. So there is no need for any other KYC or other whitelisting procedures. Why, right? So this was, let's say, an incident, and users are not guilty for this. So therefore, we will not ask them to do KYC once again. Doesn't make any sense also.
And in general, KYC will also be possible to be reused. So if you did now KYC for our Scaleswap project, in general, you have the possibility, if there are new pools, that you can simply reuse your KYC data and simply accept, let's say, that it's also used for another project. But it can happen from time to time that some documents, address verification, if it's 3 years old over time, you need to verify it again. So there might be some rechecks, but in general, you can reuse your KYC then also for upcoming projects, so that you don't need to do that all the time.
So John, who was asking this question, and all the other guys who are worrying about another KYC procedure whitelisting, you can relax right now, meaning that you don't need to pass it one more time. And by the way, I remind you that the KYC partner of Scaleswap is Fractal, which is the largest and the most recognized company in the KYC space. So they were handling the whole KYC procedure for Scaleswap. And yeah, as Ralf underlined, keeping this KYC from Scaleswap IDO, you will be using it for the next IDOs on our platform on Scaleswap. So that's really one shot and 2 rabbits.
Yeah.
Something like that. Okay, coming back to other questions from the community. We've received quite a lot of questions in Telegram group about why is the WETH or ETH bridge taking a long time to process? I think that's probably the question to Stan, yeah?
Yeah, right. Well, the bridge. First of all, sorry for all these people who experience problems with the bridge to Polygon. Unfortunately, it happens, and it works like this. We implemented, so we don't have this bridge ourselves. We didn't invent this. It's not on our systems. It's basically on the systems of Polygon. And once you try to use bridge, under the hood, you use systems of Polygon. And sometimes things go wrong. And so it was this time. And this is highly addressed at Polygon. And we are speaking with them how to resolve this, how to increase the put through of the bridge so that many people can use this on our side. And I hope that we can give the full answer later. Definitely, we will give full answer before our IDO. So we will figure it out.
Very good, Stan. And there is another question repeated few times about ETH. So just a second. Do you plan to change IDO currency from ETH to stablecoin?
You mean for our IDO not, but technically speaking, again, it's definitely possible. And this is only a matter of business. And maybe I will give to Ralf elaborate on this bit.
Right. As Stan said, definitely we won't change it for our own IDO, but technically it's possible to integrate also other coins for future pools. So we might also do kind of a poll or something, what the community thinks about that, or which options are the most attractive ones for the community. Yeah, but for now we will stay that until our own pool is over.
Okay. And speaking about actually development roadmap, there is a great question from Amit. Are you going to launch on other chains like Binance, Solana, Cardano, or their projects?
Everything is in scope, everything planned. Definitely, we will not go against the involvement of the ecosystem. and we look really carefully on other blockchains. We research them if it's possible to do similar things what we done with Polygon, because just as a reminder, what differentiates Scaleswap is that people don't need to be on Polygon. They really can participate on pool being on Ethereum layer 1. And this is very important to understand. And this is why our technology is so, let's say, in this sense advanced and also new or novel. We are already testing other blockchains regarding what one or which one we will integrate as next. I don't think we can disclose this for now.
Well, that's quite understandable. And I think other questions like this, for example, Pablo is asking, are there future plans for some other technologies beside of Launchpad? And many questions about the roadmap, about where do you want to develop Scaleswap, and about what do you want to build in addition to IDO Launchpad. We have tons of these questions in the live chat now. So I think guys already answered more or less that everything is possible, and keep connected, keep informed, keep yourself in the loop, and you will know it soon. But the goals of Scaleswap are very, very ambitious, believe me. So,
yep. Sorry to interrupt, but if you have a look at the roadmap, you will see some words that gives you also certain indication. If you see Scaleswap, drop, scale liquid. So maybe these words also give you a certain indication from our roadmap on the website where we target to go, without disclosing, let's say, exactly the functionality. But we want to develop in general an ecosystem, not only, let's say, an IDO Launchpad, which is our very important and our go-to market product. And at the same time, you can also expect that we will expand our services. So it's on the one hand platform dependent, on the other hand also service dependent. So yeah, stay tuned. There will be definitely more news regarding enriched services and platform features very soon, including also, and I think we disclosed that already, that it will come, our autopilot function, which will be a novel in the IDO world, which enables users, and also depending on the scale score. So you need to have you need to be one of the loyal members to get access to that autopilot function, which allows you to automatically participate in projects and in a customizable way, where you say, okay, I'm interested in these and these and these areas. This is my budget. I always want to contribute between this and this amount. Yes, this will be a very interesting feature that is also on the very top of our tech roadmap and plans.
Wow, that's really cool. So does it mean something like a little bit similar like wealth management, but democratic wealth management for people who do not have millions yet? Absolutely,
absolutely. You can also define within your budget range how you participate. Also for the ones that don't have time, to stay in 10, 20, 50 Telegram groups and announcement channels. So yeah, it's a way to diversify, but emphasize again, it's important to have a look at your scale score from day one. So you have basically 3 dimensions which you can already influence from day one. If you're holding SCAR tokens from day one, if you don't sell them, and if you provide at least liquidity worth of $100, then you have the maximum what you can do, And this helps you in a continuous way to increase also your scale score, because there are several dimensions which are time dependent. So you can't reach the maximum scale score at day one, because you have, for example, holding period where you're gaining more scale score points over time. But for the first pools, I can only give an advice that you have a good chance, let's say, if you follow these rules, and we will publish also a detailed article all around scale score, and we will release that before the IDO, so that you can all prepare yourself for a good scale score rating, and also directly improve your chances for the first pools that are launching on our platform.
Great, Ralf. Actually, you started to answer or answered already one of the most demanded questions. What are the exact recommendations how to increase your scale score up to 100, etc.? Give us a direct formula and so on.
It will come. And by the way, Stan also developed the formulas behind. I had no clue about that, but it looks also very fancy. For him, it's business as usual, you know, but for me, it looked really fancy because I was just defining also certain levels, you know, per dimension with target scores. And this is now all mapped into mathematical formulas, and we will also display that on our platform in a network diagram, that you can see where are my weak points, where are my strong points. You will get explanation also on the platform, not only in our article. So but the first thing, because as long as no other projects are launching in our platform, it's very simple. If you hold SCAR tokens from day one and you don't sell them, then you have in 2 dimensions the maximum points what you can have for the time being, you know. So it will be then later on a little bit more sophisticated, because when further projects are launching, you have further dimensions that come into play. But at the beginning, it's pretty simple. So but we will explain that in more detail in the article also.
I can only say stay tuned.
Well, you invented here something outstanding with this scale score. I also have seen these formulas and they look amazing. And the whole concept, I just envision that in half a year or 1 year time, just imagine that when 2 retail investors will meet each other somewhere, they will not ask each other, oh, in what IDO did you invest, or in how many IDOs? They will ask, and what is your scale score? And it will be more important, what is your scale score, than what car you are driving, or what university did you finish? Yeah, so.
Absolutely. And maybe we will also prepare some merchandising articles around that. Maybe, we will see.
And of course, get a lot of partners who will also consider scale score in their business circles and processes, right?
Right. And it's not only scale score, it's also pretty important. Scale score will not only be used for our community and regarding pool participation. As I said, it's also unlocking features and more, but it's also for larger backers, because we are also building certain councils as elements of our overall decentralized governance, and scale score plays also a role over there. So not only our community needs to be loyal, but also our backers needs to be loyal. So it's not, let's say, only the one side. So everyone who is interacting in the Scaleswap ecosystem needs to be loyal, basically, because of scale score.
Got ya. I see there are also some technical questions in the chat. So Mangale, you are asking about testnet and whitelist email. Please send this question to the Telegram chat, and moderators will definitely consider and answer you very, very fast way. We can't answer it right now straight away, these type of individual questions. And we have only 4 minutes left before the end of our AMA. Therefore, maybe we can switch to the most anticipated question. When is the date of the IDO, or when people can expect the IDO of Scaleswap happen? Right, Stan.
Maybe I will start answering this question. First of all, because of this incident, and as I explained at the very beginning, we had to redesign a decent part of applications and of the infrastructure. And rushing to do this is a very bad decision. Therefore, everything needs to be tested, and tested even more and even more often than before. It's very important in our technical approach from now on. Therefore, speaking about technology, today we are not ready to say it will be exactly on the date X, but I'm pretty sure it will be very soon. It will be very soon, and everybody in the community will know about this. Be assured that our technology team works around the clock. They worked really with night sessions to fix all your problems with the bridge, with Refund, in parallel redesigning the architecture and testing. So it's really high load on the guys, and I'm proud of the team. We do everything possible to do this as soon as possible from technology side.
Good. I envision this quote: we do everything possible to do it as soon as possible. That's very clear answer. Ralf, do you want to add something here about the next IDO date anticipation? Or?
No, I can't add really too much. Everything was said. We want to do it also as soon as possible. Also, how can I say? It's always right before the IDO happens. You are creating also a certain momentum. So to wait too long would only harm us, you know. So therefore, we have an inner motivation to have our relaunch as soon as possible. But at the same time, we will only announce the new date when especially all testing was successfully completed. But we are not speaking about weeks, you know. So Stan and the tech team and also external partners are working round the clock on that. So we will announce the IDO date very soon. So we also said that in our banner on our website, and this is also the truth. So we will announce it very soon.
Exactly.
And from announcement until IDO, it won't be again several weeks. We are also talking there about several days. We will definitely need to create again that momentum. That's very natural. But we have no interest at all in prolonging that phase to the future. We want to have the relaunch as soon as possible.
Yes.
We are all waiting it impatiently, and everyone who was watching us today in YouTube, guys, if we do not have enough time right now, guys have to run on another meetings, but as promised, we plan to repeat these sessions regularly with Scaleswap founders Ralf and Stan, and with invited guests among partners of Scaleswap. So please stay in touch. Leave your questions in the comments. If you liked this session, put like and subscribe to our channel. And of course, we are all very much committed to have a successful IDO as soon as possible, as Ralf and Stan already elaborated. And we will appreciate any kind of support from your side, guys. So don't hesitate to share in social media, in your Twitter or Facebook, to tell your friends about Scaleswap, because that is the real community spirit. You can do a lot, even if you think that you are just a small retail person on this market. We want you to feel really important, because you are important for us. So keep in touch and stay connected with us. Ralf, Stan, thank you so much for being so transparent and really standing out in this market. You are amazing and very exciting what we are building right now.
Thank you very much, Nelly. Thank you very much for the moderation, as always, exceptionally. So it was really a pleasure in having that AMA led by you. So thank you very much to you. Thank you very much to the whole community, everyone who was posting questions, everyone who was following our session. As Nelly said, we will do that on a regular basis, also in that format, if everyone is also interested in that. And from time to time, we hope that we have again also cool partners like Hacken this time. We will also see that we have interesting guests in our AMA in the future.
Yeah, and I want to add, at this format, but not because of incidents, because of other very interesting and important events happening at Scaleswap. I want also to thank everybody and to thank Nelly for the real cool moderation as always.
Yeah, and let's agree. Thank you all those who were watching and actively participating. And as was said, Stan, very good point. Next time we will celebrate also our successes closer with our community. That would be a really fun party. The community peers were joking that it would be fun if you say that IDO will start right now.
It would be fun, yeah.
Not right now, guys, but definitely you will hear from us very soon. Thanks to everyone. Have a great day, evening, morning, whatever you are. Thank you, guys.